Legends of this cup competition, St Gregory's College of Campbelltown and Patrician Brothers of Fairfield. They're both playing in their 8th cup final appearance, unbelievably. 16 appearances between the two, but they have met on only one occasion. That was 1983. Plenty of support for both sides here at the Parramatta Stadium. All the pupils from both schools in attendance, and I guess the nerves are certainly now taking over for the players as well, who are about to embark on that famous walk down the Parramatta Stadium tunnel. Their chance to write their names into the history books. Our commentators for the Commonwealth Bank Cup of 1991 are Wayne Pearce, Bill Anderson, Mark Warren and David Porter.
Thank you, Graham, and what a marvellous moment for these two teams. Arch rivals in the Commonwealth Bank Cup, and a big moment for their two captains, Tim Horan and Glenn Grief. As Graham mentioned, they've met in one cup final in the past, back in 1983. Victory to Patrician Brothers Fairfield on that occasion. It's the second time in 1991 that they've met in a final. The last was in the Townmouth knockout final, and Patrician Brothers Fairfield were beaten by St Gregory's Campbelltown by 22 points to 4. We just saw and shot Peter Mulholland. He's had a fabulous record since he's taken over in 1979 with St Gregory's Campbelltown. 6 wins and 1 loss. Tonight, the 8th cup final appearance for both teams. And a tremendous moment, Mick Hardis. He's had a marvellous record as well. Peter Sterling, a former superstar and an ex-student of Patrician Brothers Fairfield. And Peter will be introduced to his old school side as well as St Gregory's Campbelltown. The referee tonight is Tony Kelly. And no matter what age it is, a cup final brings out the nerves in players and referees alike. So the introductions being made to the two sides, and this is a moment that they will remember. John Kosh and John Coates from the Commonwealth Bank, and they have been absolutely marvellous supporters of this competition, and Wayne Pearce, a former member of the Leichhardt High School side in the Commonwealth Bank Cup. Both these players have gone on to represent Australia. Pearce and Sterling, members of the 82 Kangaroo side, and Sterling, of course, again in 1986. In fact, 4 members, Peter Sterling, Ben Elias, Paul Langmack and Greg Alexander, former superstars who went away on the 86 Kangaroo Tour. So the nerves, you can see, the players, Andrew Sanderson at fullback, Nginga, Sears, Horan the captain, Marimba, the 2 boys from Papua New Guinea will flank the 3-quarter line, Chapman, Cross, Sykes, Boller, Francis, Carney, Chisholm and Morrison. The coaches I mentioned, Peter Mulholland. So the Patrician Brothers Fairfield side, winners of the semi-final last week against Palm Beach Currumbin. There's the big fullback Haitley. He'll play a big role. And there's been one change to their side from the semi-final. Andrew McElwain comes in to the second row. The full side, Haitley at fullback, Nyland, Hill, Bragg, Griffiths, Casey, Rafferty. Glenn Grief will lead the side from the lock forward position. Pettit, the Australian schoolboy McElwain in the team, Wilson, Grimer and the big Samoan, Daniel Letafuga, the front rower. The coach, as I mentioned, is Mick Hardis. So they're just moments away from kick-off in the 17th Commonwealth Bank Cup final. Terrific moment for both sides. We notice Tim Horan walking away from his team at the moment, walking down the end of that line. What a marvellous young player this fellow is, an Australian schoolboy in 1990 and 91, a scholarship holder to Western Suburbs, and he's also captain of the first 11. Little Joey Grimer, he'll remember this night. There's Glenn Grief, the captain. And the chance of both schools at the moment. And in a little over an hour's time, we'll know who the champion is in 1991. The Commonwealth Bank Cup record, this St Gregory side has never missed the quarterfinals since first coming in 1976. So we're standing by now for the national anthem to be sung by 2 Year 11 students from Campbelltown High, Sarah Bonds and Melanie Kelly.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. With golden soil and wealth put up, our home is good.
cream of Australia's rugby league talent on show here tonight. Back in February, 400 teams from New South Wales and Queensland began the journey to the Parramatta Stadium for Cup final night. Few, Mark Warren, would disagree that the two finest sides of the competition and arch rivals have made their way through to the Cup final tonight.
Arch rivals they might be, David, but a tremendous respect between the two, and St Gregory's now on target. No one's done it before. They're looking for 3 Commonwealth Bank Cup titles in a row.
Well, Billy Anderson, no matter what sort of cup final it is, the nerves are there. I got a bit of a tingle when the national anthem was played, and I'm sure these young fellows will remember this night for a long time to come.
A big moment in the life of any young man, a showcase, the Commonwealth Bank Cup, an opportunity not only to show what you can do in rugby league, but also to represent your school at the highest level.
Well, just remember back in 1982, Paul Langmack and Greg Alexander were members of the Patrician brothers Fairfield side. Alexander, of course, again in 83 when they won it. Just 3 years later, they were on the Kangaroo Tour together as teammates. So that's how quick the progression can be from this cup final night to representing your country if you're good enough. But I can tell you, there are some outstanding rugby league talents out there tonight that you'll see. We hope that you'll enjoy it here on Network 10 Sport. It's Cup Final Night 1991 in the Commonwealth Bank Cup. Patrician Brothers Fairfield will defend the northern end of the ground, and it will be St Gregory's Campbelltown to receive from the kickoff. Well, the problem at the moment is football's coming out onto the ground. Young Garron Casey will get the game underway, the top point scorer. He scored 40 points against Bonnie Rigg in that 64-0 victory earlier this year. And his goal-kicking talents will be matched today by Damien Chapman, his opposite number.
2 great goal kickers, David.
Yes, Chapman was a little off target in the semi-final last week, kicking only 2 from 6 against Farah. But anyway, the cup final for 91 is underway. Casey driving it deep and hard. It's trapped on the goal line. Let's look at this defence of Patrician Brothers from the opening minute. They're swarming, but a good run that takes play out. Marimba will run it away from Dubby half. And he's taken in the tackle just short of the quarter line. Now Ningiga. Campbelltown inside their own quarter. The first penalty of the match. Holding the player down in the ruck, and so the pressure relieved for St Gregory's Campbelltown. And it will be young Tim Horan. You can see the offence there, and referee Kelly very, very quick to spot it. So Horan will look for touch on the commentary side of the Parramatta Stadium. Wayne Pearce, ideal conditions here tonight for this cup final. You were down on the touchline. The introduction of the players, how were the nerves?
Yeah, it's perfect down here. There's not much breeze at all. The temperature's quite cool. The surface of the ground is fantastic, so everything's in place for a great match.
So Chisholm goes into dummy half. So Gregory's working it towards the halfway. Cross got it away to Chapman. Terrific straight running by Michael Francis, a young player who's in contention for the Superstar Award tonight. That's a terrific run by Horan. This is the class of this young fellow. Sears is linking up on the outside. It could be the opening try of the cup final. It is. As he did in the semi-final, Michael Sears comes up with the try. To the jubilation of his teammates, that's the start St Gregory's wanted. And it all came from that man Horan. He's a class act. You'll see in the replay, he split them out wide. It was quick ball movement to the left. And look at the class of this young fellow. Puts the foot down, draws the fullback Haitley perfectly. Look at Sears looming on the outside. That is a superb start for the team chasing their 3rd cup final in a row.
When you look at this try, you've got to look at the build-up to it. It came from a set play. It was a tap penalty, something they'd rehearsed. They took the play to one side and then fired it back along their back line on the other side and caught Patrician Brothers out of position. Good play by Horan. He got it onto his centre partner, Sears.
Well, there is jubilation up on the Gold Coast tonight in the hinterland at Chindara because Mike Matthews, Sears' father, runs a local news agency there. In fact, was a member of the Gold Coast Harold Matthews squad in 1989. And he's put his stamp on this cup final just 3 minutes into the first half.
In fact, Matthews here is a beach sprint champion.
Yeah, converted from half and 5/8 too. Look at this. That's the finish. Well, did he get it down? Very hard for the referee to rule on that, Bill.
Yeah, it was a touch and go one. There was an instant there when it looked like he did, but he was rolled over very quickly.
Well, it counts. 4 points on the board. And St Gregory's hold that advantage. Chapman, as I mentioned, only 2 from 6 last week. Son of a man that's tasted finals football. His father, John, played in the 75 and 77 grand final with St George. And that was a history-making 177. It was the drawn grand final. There's the kick. It's off target. But Campbelltown lead by 4 points to 0 in the cup final of 1991. So, it's up to Patrician Brothers Fairfield to strike back, remembering in the earlier match this year at Townmouth, 22 points to 4, Campbelltown won that final in the Townmouth knockout. Long kick downfield. And the defence up very quickly, led by Darren Pettit. They're caught on the quarter line. Marimba running out of dummy half. Young fellow from Papua New Guinea, a Chimbu from the highlands outside of Goroka. And the rugby league fans, Billy, of Papua New Guinea are enjoying the coverage of this cup final tonight.
And two boys in particular, the two wingers, Marimba and Ningiga. They're the man they'll be wanting to start. Now that's what Patrician Brothers have to do. St Greg's based their game on not making mistakes. The Patrician Brothers have tackled an error into them. Now they've got to make the most of this. You don't get many chances.
Yes, ideal position here now. Let's have a look at it. Ball going loose. It's a loose head and feed to Patrician Brothers Fairfield. Haitley could be a key player. He attacks on the blind side, pushes out of one, but we find Marimba comes in from the left wing to put him on the ground. Now they take it away for Letafuga, his first touch in the cup final. And they're inside the attacking quarter. Grimer is the dummy half. Working on the blind side, Rafferty getting it away to the lock forward and captain in grief. And the loss of the football, the attacking movement breaks down just when they had ideal position to put pressure on Campbelltown.
What comes out of that is the fact that St Greg's have played in the last two cup finals. They've got a lot of players that are backing up from 1990. They've been in cup football before. So Patrician Brothers a little more affected by the nerves.
Yes, in fact, Mark, 7 players backing up from 1990's cup final.
Yes, with the work to do now for Fairfield Patrician Brothers. Now they've got to defend firstly before they can get on the board. And again, St Gregory's College of Campbelltown working their pattern football and going over halfway. Shears out of dummy half. Through Chapman now for Haran. And this is Ningiga. Ningiga got the ball away. They're 10 over halfway. St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. They lead by 4 points to 0. Haitley now, the high ball. Chris Haitley. We need a big one from him tonight for Fairfield Patrician Brothers. He beats the first and comes back from the second, Nathan Boller. But the defence comes again and they nail him about 8 metres short of the 22. This is Richard Nylon and Nylon takes it forward 4 metres short of the 22. Fairfield in possession, and this is Wilson. Wilson makes the advantage line. It's 4 points to 0. St Gregory's College of Campbelltown looking for 3 cup finals as Letafuga takes it forward. Francis was in the tackle, and so too was Morrison. They work back inside for Haitley. Danger for St Gregory's every time he touches the football, but he's got to stay involved. Now Joey Grimer. Dummies comes back the blind side, gets the kick in downfield. Sits up nicely for Sanderson, wearing the blue headgear. Now he comes back towards the centre of the field, straightens the attack. He's gone straight through them, Sanderson. Back inside, Rafferty, but the good tackle was there through the captain, Glenn Grief, who is on 4 points in the quest for the Adidas Superstar of the Year award.
At the moment, Patrician Brothers allowing St Greg's to do things far too quickly. They're bouncing to their feet and keeping the roll on.
Kane Cross got a ball away now for Boller. Back inside and St Gregory's still on the attack. They've got numbers to the right. Will they spin it? They do through Chisholm and now through Sykes, and this is around. Danger time coming up. Chapman still going. Another try. Another try for the 5'8" Damien Chapman, and St Gregory's are on fire at the Parramatta Stadium. And there's the supporters. It's all smiles at the moment. Here it is on the replay for the Commonwealth Bank Cup. This is Champagne Schoolboy Rugby League. Chapman got inside Haitley and then he improved the possession. And all smiles St Gregory's at the moment.
The thing that jumps out and hits you about St Gregory's is their superb skills, their ability to use the football to run their man into space. Now look at this, Chapman took the pass, he had to beat a tackle and then goes round to improve his position. Great football.
Well, Wayne, it certainly is backs to the wall stuff for Fairfield at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. Billy hit the nail on the head when he said that Fairfield are going backwards in defence. St Greg's are doing everything too quickly at the moment, and Patrician Brothers Fairfield just can't get set in defence, and they've got to try and rectify that, hold the balls down a little bit more.
They've just got to slow it down, Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. If they don't slow the game down, then they're going to get further behind on the scoreboard.
So now Damien Chapman as Fairfield in conference. The trainers are out there. They've got to get their minds back on the job. We've seen what they can do. They're a champion outfit, but so too are the maroon and sky blue of St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. Blood coming from the nose of Damien Chapman, and there he is, Peter Mulholland. He's been there since 1979. Damien Chapman, 118 points for 1991. And now this kick, 15 in from touch and about 10 metres to the right-hand side of the uprights. He moves into it, he hits it, it looks good, the flags tell the story. St Gregory's College of Campbelltown race to a 10-0 lead.
Hey mate, give us the ball.
10 points to nil, St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. They lead Fairfield Patrician. There is too much heart and soul in the two Blues jersey. They'll be back in this cup final, no doubt in the world.
They say that adversity brings out the best in champions. Well, there's plenty of adversity in front of Patrician Brothers here.
Oh, big hit! Big hit on Francis, but he stood up to it. He made the advantage line. They work out of dummy half now. And this is Ningiga. Here's the replay, and here it is, Wooski, bang! They hit at 100 miles an hour. But now St Gregory's, and this is what they've done so well. Ball jolted loose in the tackle, it's gotten forward, and the scrum will go down. 10 metres over the 22. So now the scrum to go down. Blood bin. 32 metres out from the St Gregory's line, and this would be a blood bin, I would suggest, for young Damien Chapman as the blood flows from his head.
And that rule carries over into the Commonwealth Bank Cup. This doesn't incur a replacement for St Greg's, and Damien Chapman can go back on. But great attacking position here for Patrician Brothers, and they've got to make St Greg's pay.
Adam Pooley is the replacement player. Well, he filled in the playmate role when Chapman was injured earlier this year, so he will know this game plan. They move it to the left through Casey. Casey turning it back infield, and that defence is swarming there from Campbelltown under pressure for the first time in this first half. They move open side. Letterfuga got a beautiful ball away. It's been knocked down. That should be 6 to go. The ball out now for Bragg. Bragg's got stretching the defence on the outside. Now they'll hit it to the left. That's Nyla on the wing three-quarter. Grimer signalling to the right. That's the way they go through Rafferty. It's away for Greeth. The lock forward. He's going for the try line, but he's short. Only a metre or so. They'll move it left again. Rafferty receives the long pass. Nowhere to go there. Yes, it is. Superb play. And it's Andrew Hill who's come up with the try. Referee Kelly says fair try. And Patrician Brothers Fairfield have struck back in the 11th minute of this first half. And the try was long overdue for Patrician Brothers. Let's look at it again. The build-up, they set it 2 to the right. Rafferty, I thought, had run out of options, but he put young Hill into open space. Does he get it down? Yes, he does. Referee on the spot, and that's just the try that Patrician Brothers Fairfield wanted.
It sure was, David, and a reward for persistence. They kept hammering away. Hill's run hard every time he's got the ball. No doubt in my mind he mightn't have got it down on the first go, but he ultimately did.
Garen Casey now will try and add the extra points. Andrew Hill, the try scorer. Fabulous support here for both schools. I wonder whether it'll be enough to lift Patrician Brothers Fairfield back into this cup final. That try certainly will. And the young Year 11 student Andrew Hill is the man that's done it.
He's big and he's strong and he wears headgear. And can't he run?
And this young fellow, a left foot round the corner kicker in the semi-final. He scored a try and kicked 4 from 5. Young Garen Casey, a player in contention for the Adidas Superstar Award and the Junior Dally M. The kick nearly on the quarter line, 15 in from touch on the commentary side of the Parramatta Stadium. I think the Patrician Brothers supporters will let you know the outcome. I can tell you he's put it straight over the black dot, and that is a vital 2 points. Only 4 points separate the two sides in this cup final now, and we've had 12 minutes of play gone in the first half. Nick Harness finally a smile. He struggled to get one for a while, Wayne Pearce.
He certainly has. They struggled to get possession for a while, and Fairfield have shown that when they do get some possession, they can put points on the board. So it's a matter of them trying to at least hold the ball and not commit any penalties or drop balls.
It wasn't really a split-your-side smile, was it?
3 tries in the first 12 minutes of this cup final has the crowd here at the Parramatta Stadium on its feet. Grimer struggles to get it out of the corner. He's milked the penalty, and he sucked in young Ian Nginga on that occasion. Steve Morrison down injured in back play for Patrician Brothers. They'll need him back on his feet. The young boy from Forbes developed a weight program this year to build himself up, and he's done that quite effectively as Casey takes play 30 metres out from his own goal line. And we'll see Patrician Brothers with the tap restart. Grimer calling for the football.
This is where Francis's defence can be so dangerous.
Levafuga. Terrific tackle that time coming in from Carney. Now looking for work again is the centre three-quarter Hill. Grimer and dummy half working blindside Rafferty and giving it away for the big Andrew McElwain. Moving it open side. Levafuga, spiralling pass goes on the ground. And Griffiths picks it up on that far side and takes play over the halfway line. Grimer is the man at dummy half again. 16 minutes of play remains to the break. The kick is not a good one, and it's recovered by Chapman. He'll play the ball 10 metres inside his own half, and that's Kane Cross, the young halfback. Very much, I believe, Billy Anderson, Wayne Bennett, the coach of the Brisbane Broncos, is a great fan of this young fellow. Second year in the top side. Yeah,
he's an outstanding player. He's got all of the halfback skills. He can go to the defensive line on his own. He can break the line, but he's got good direction of play skills as well. And you know, that's a God-given gift. That's something that's very hard to coach into a player.
Look at this, the kick downfield from Horan, taken by Haitley, the fullback. The villain and the hero in the semi-final against Palm Beach Currumbin. Play inside the quarter line.
Patrician Brothers do look a little bit tired to me. They're not really getting over the advantage line and playing the ball as quickly as they could. St Greg's still doing things a little bit too quickly for them.
So now Fairfield Patrician Brothers working out of their own territory. St Gregory's, though, have come back on the attack. A coughed up possession through Levafuga, and now Chapman dances off the left and back off the left again, back into the centre of the field before being wrapped up tightly by young Joey Grimer and also the captain Glenn Grief. They scoot from dummy half now, and this is Chisholm, and he makes the 22. Kane Cross goes into dummy half. He's won right out of the box, the halfback for St Gregory's. As Carney takes it forward, he's lost it. And Fairfield, the pressure off once again. So the tackle will restart now. That's tackle 1 for Fairfield. Still going, trying to make the extra yards. Here's the replay, and Carney took it forward. He lost possession.
But the pressure's only off as long as they don't make an error here. Now, what they've got to do is play a good, safe set of 6. They've got to put a kick and chase on the end of it and get St Greg's pinned down the other end of the field. If you cough up possession in your own half, you'll pay.
This is McElwain, Australian schoolboy, 1991. Now Grimer, Levafuga pops up a good ball for Wilson. Wilson bumping out of tackles. He's 4 metres short of the halfway. Still there on the back foot, Fairfield. They trail by 4 points as they get the kick in down for town. Good looking kick. No, it's gone out in the full. It was weighted well, but just out. Garrett Casey, a superb kicker of the football. He's not happy with that one. 10 points to 6. St Gregory's lead Fairfield Patrician Brothers. They get the feed. Kane Cross at the scrum base. Sykes comes away with it from a lock forward position. Back inside, this is Sykes again, and Sykes, he's 8 metres in from touch and 2 short of the 22. Marimba at dummy half. Now Nathan Boller takes it forward. Glenn Grief launches himself. He missed with the shot. They're 15 out from the Fairfield line. We've got 13 minutes left in the first half. They hold up a good ball this time for Carney, and Carney takes it forward. Still continuing with the wrap. They work a wide blind side through Cross, and now Horan. Casey was there.
The switches of play are beautiful by St Greg's. Here's another one.
Here's trouble. Sanderson back inside for Sanderson. He's only a metre short. They've got 2 tackles left. They've got players each side of the ruck. Chisholm goes himself, puts the head down, tries to get the leg drive. Now, last tackle signalled by referee Kelly. And the turnover. Well, here it is to play the ball. He's lost possession. And referee Kelly has ruled the scrum.
And Rob, quite rightly so. I was sure that he just lost the ball as he was getting up to play it, and then it lay there for a few seconds as Tony Kelly tried to get the sides back there 5.
Hately was driven by Chapman. They're still 4 metres out from their own line as the quick men come in and try and make the advantage line, and this is Hill, the try scorer. Grimer from dummy half makes 4 or 5 valuable yards, and a penalty to Fairfield. Penalty Fairfield inside the 5. And Tony Kelly says stay right out of it.
And that's the benefit you get when you do things quickly. You then put pressure on the referee because he's got to try and get the defensive side back there 5. They can't do it. He's forced to penalise them.
So now the line kick for Garron Casey. And this one he will want out on the full. Drives it downfield. In fact, 8 metres over the halfway line. Rafferty. Letafuga, the Samoan Prince makes the ad line. Now, out of dummy half from Grimer. Now Casey, pivot, stands and swerves, but swung to the ground by Chapman. We've got 11 minutes left in the first half as young Joe Grimer ducks out again from dummy half. Very dangerous. Now Adam Rafferty holds one up for Daniel Letafuga. He goes without it, and the scrum will go down. About 5 short of the 22.
I thought a tough call, Billy.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been a knockback. We can see there that Letafuga was coming into a hole. The ball seemed to go back behind him and then hit a heel.
So this scrum will go down. Garron Casey got the hand in the air. It's won by St Gregory's, and Kane Cross comes across field. Oh, good tackle from Kevin Griffiths.
Now Nginga goes out of dummy half. It's a chance now for Campbelltown to work the ball into the attacking half. It's been a great fight back by Patrician brothers, who are really put back on the back foot. Francis, 4 points separate the two sides in this cup final. St Gregory's hold that advantage.
And there's the switch of play again by St Greg's, catching them out.
And Nginga, great pace down the right. Horan picked it up on the inside. He had Sanderson on his inside, but he couldn't unload the football. They move it to the left. They move it wide. The lock forward in Sykes, looking on the inside to unload. He couldn't do it. Chisholm goes to dummy half. Chapman's calling it for left-hand side. Puts the kick over the top. He's got the chase. Great try as he got it down. That is superb individual skills. His second try in the cup final. And what a try it was. He was in the blood bin for a while. He's come back onto the field and again put his stamp on the game. He called for it left-hand side. The defence came up quickly. The little chip, I wonder how many times he's practiced this skill. It's rewarded here in the cup final of 91.
Chris Hately might have been just a touch out of position here, but whatever, he didn't recover it quickly enough. A piece of singular brilliance there by Chapman, the chip and chase, and 4 points.
Wayne Pearce, you see young kids practice out of the park after school in the afternoons. But under the pressure of a cup final football, it takes a champion to pull it off.
Well, it takes a champion to think of it in those circumstances. The easy option was to put a high up and under in the air and chase through, but he seized the opportunity, and it was just a great timing and a great bounce.
Well, the St George side will be rewarded with the skills and services of this young player in the years to come.
Billy, could he now be another Brad Fittler?
Well, Fittler went very quickly from Commonwealth Bank Cup football into first grade, but he had all of the physical skills and physical, you know, the physique to go with it. I just don't know if this guy's, you know, got the physique at the moment, but he certainly has got the talent. If he's not there in year 1, he'll be there in year 2.
Setting it a la Matthew Ridge on the mound, ball slanted forward, around the corner style kicker. 1 from 2 so far. 14 points to 6. Gregory's Campbelltown with that advantage and a chance for Chapman to post 2 further points for the Agriculture College run by the Morris brothers at Campbelltown, St Gregory's. Cheers of their supporters will go up if it goes through the uprights. It does. And it's a terrific lead for St Gregory's Campbelltown. They lead by 16 points to 6. So once again, Garron Casey brings the ball back for the restart of play. And One great thing that they've shown Campbelltown, well, in fact, both sides, Billy Anderson, is the fact that when they do get into attacking positions, they've got that great ability to get the ball over the try line.
All the things that we love about rugby league, the ball movement, the backing up, the support play, everything you want to see is being displayed here.
Now Michael Francis tries to work the ball out. Marimba came in from the wing to try and take off a bit of pressure. Now his wing partner, Ningiga, from Port Moresby. In fact, was the school captain of St Gregory's, Campbelltown. Darting out of dummy half, taking play over the quarter line, was the centre three-quarter Sears. They do it so effectively. They've worked it now to within 1 metre of the halfway line. Chisholm goes to dummy half. They'll move it back for Horan. And Horan, under a bit of pressure, got out of that pressure situation well, but his kick will go straight into the eager waiting hands of Haitley, the fullback, and he brings it back to the quarter line before Kane Cross wraps him up in the tackle. Griffiths to dummy. No, it was Haitley that tapped and ran. That was clever thinking by the fullback. Pinched 8 or 10 valuable metres. McElwain got it effectively to the halfway line. Grimer goes to dummy half. It will be Rafferty as the first receiver, giving it away for Pettit.
Yeah, that's better play. You can't make those strong advantage line runs one out. Once you've had one, you've got to have another 2 or 3 just to keep the defence going backwards before you have a spread.
Leonard Ferger got a good ball away for Pettit. That was 25 metres out.
Much better advantage line play there, and have a look where they are.
There's the kick from Rafferty, the ball rolling into that big in-goal area. But Sanderson will be forced in his own in-goal. Oh, he showed great skill. He nearly got it back into the field of play. But the goal line dropout will be the restart of play. Rafferty was the man that put it on the toe. And I thought for a moment, Billy, that Sanderson was going to get this out.
He did well initially, but there was so much Patrician Brothers defence coming through that even though he'd beaten 2, he had to beat 4. So it was a great 6 tackles. They went from their own try line to play the ball ahead by Haitley, and then another couple of good power runs, and they've got the ball back in great attacking position.
So Glenn Grief, the captain now, showing the way for his troops. Follow me, he's saying out there at the moment, as now Wilson straightens the attack. He makes the advantage line on the blind side now. Grimer dummy half. Now this is McElwain. Steps off the left foot and comes back towards the fringe of the ruck, and taken by the Gregory's defence. Good ball from Grimer for Grief, and Grief spins in the tackle. The defence was good and strong from St Gregory's.
He's a danger man and being heavily marked, Glenn Grief.
Casey looking for the long ball. This has shut the gate. You can sit back and watch this one. Timmeran, Haitley giving chase. Oh, can he get him? This will be a great effort. What a tackle. What a tackle. Yes, I'm excited, but now can they sustain it? Another good tackle. St Gregory's now have got Fairfield at 6s and 7s. Chapman. Oh, Chapman has done it again. Well, talk about defence into attack. This is unbelievable. Damien Chapman has scored 3 tries in the cup final, and I'm not sure if anyone's done that before. Here it is for our great sponsors, the Commonwealth Bank. Haran set sail, and really, Ben Lexon must have designed his boots. But look at Haitley. Haitley showed all the skill, and what a tackle. He did so well. Then Chapman got to dummy half. He came away the open side. A good tackle by Griffiths. He got to his feet. They needed the quick play the ball. And then he came away from them again. What a try. What schoolboy rugby league. Well, Damien Chapman, 2 from 3.
Chris Haitley did everything humanly possible. The chase there from the Patrician Brothers fullback was superb. A lot of players would have given up. He chased, he kept going. He finally made the tackle 5 metres out from the line. He could have done no more.
Well, it really is now an uphill battle for Fairfield Patrician Brothers. Chris Haitley. That was everything, wasn't it? Defence and attack. We're inside the last 3 minutes before half-time, and I'm not prepared to write Fairfield off just yet. Mick Hardis showing the anguish of a coach that's down on the scoreboard in a cup final.
That's football, the ability to turn defence into attack. They were very much at 6s and 7s, St Greg's, and came up with the intercept.
If Casey found that centre on the outside, maybe it was going to be a different story. Maybe a try to Fairfield. However, now Damien Chapman, a point-scoring machine, moves into it, cool, calm, collected, and gets the 2 points. So Damien Chapman takes St Gregory's to a 22 points to 6 lead in the Cup final of 1991. Well, St Gregory's supporters really relaxed at the moment. They are so happy with their side as Garen Casey comes back to this familiar position of restarting for Fairfield. We're inside the last 2 minutes of play now. Ball driven deep inside the St Gregory's in goal area. And now the long trot bat, and this is Francis taking them on and making it 12 metres out from his own line. Now this is Ningiga, rather Marimba. Ningiga goes to dummy half now. 4 short of the 22 and makes it over the 22 and still going, Ningiga. Swung to the ground in a good tackle, that time by Wilson and also Grimer. They're not playing badly, Fairfield, but St Gregory's are red hot at the moment. They're firing on all cylinders. Time ticking away for Fairfield in the first half. St Gregory's looking for 3 back-to-back titles in the Commonwealth Bank Cup.
And it's never been done before.
Now the clearing kick, and they're playing it so well. They're getting the hell out of there. This ball sits up this time.
You've got to catch those on the full, get them on the fly and run at the defence.
Kevin Griffiths, possibly the fastest man on the field, inside the 10 metres and a penalty to Fairfield. Well, they'll have a chance here maybe to put a set play on just before half-time. In fact, the siren could go at any tick of the clock. Joey Grimer shouting the instructions, takes the tap now. Haley goes to blindside, tries to make the yards. He's brought to ground by the St Greg's defence. It was good and strong in the form of Marimba and also Francis. Taking off from dummy half again is Joey Grimer. We've seen him do it so often this year. The kick goes across field. There's the siren sounds in the background. Kane Cross now runs the football back towards the Fairfield attack and still going. He's got Marimba outside. Good tackle, Garen Casey. And that is half-time in the Commonwealth Bank Cup final of 1991. St Gregory's lead Fairfield Patrician Brothers 22 points to 6.
Tonight being our last Winfield Cup game of the season sees the annual presentation of the Patrons Award for the Rookie of the Year. The award is presented by the patrons of the football club, Arthur Drew, Jack Argent and Dan Marnie. The Rookie of the Year award commenced in 1974 when Jeff Gerard was the first recipient, and other winners have included Neville Glover, Eric Grove, Neil Hunt, Brett Kenny, Brian Jackson, Michael Erickson, Scott Marn, Peter Johnson, and last year's winner David Penner. The award is open to all our grade players who are playing their first full season of senior football. This year's winner is reserve grade halfback Martin Seal. Martin came to the club halfway through last year after playing for our victorious 1990 Jersey Fleet team. Martin's a local junior from the Hills District Club and is currently studying for his degree in physical education. This year he's played 2 first grade matches and today played his 20th reserve grade match. Prior to today's match, he'd scored 10 tries and 57 goals in reserves for a total of 155 points. I'm sure you'll agree the patrons have selected a very worthy young player as the 1991 winner of the Patrons Award for Rookie of the Year, Martin Seal. I'll now hand over to Mr. Arthur Drew to make the presentation to Martin.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to make this present to our Rookie of the Year, Martin Seal. I think he's done a wonderful job right through the year and deserves this trophy. And I want to congratulate him on his efforts.
I'd just like to say thank you to the Patrons Club for having this award. I don't think I could have won this award without the other players around me. I'd like to thank Gregory, especially the band. Thanks very much. And I hope I can continue this success in the next year. Thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Seal, 1991 Rookie of the Year. What about another big round of applause?
Ford at Camden offers a country-style sales approach with good old-fashioned service. Phil McCarroll Ford is one of a few Ford dealers who've continued to set sales records even in this tough economic environment. If you enjoy country-style service, then for your next new Ford or quality used car, call and see the bloke from the bush. Phil McCarroll Ford at Camden, a long-time sponsor of the Parramatta Eels. ATP Australia is the supplier of the new Platinum Plus golf ball. Unlike most two-piece golf balls, Platinum Plus delivers a better bite on approach shots. The 432 dimple tripentazoid pattern creates less wind drag, greater accuracy and longer flight.
Mark will bring us back.
Platinum Plus golf balls are available at all good pro and golf shops. And for more information, call ATP Australia at North Parramatta on 630-5493. ATP Australia. Yeah. Proud to be associated with the Parramatta Eels. Tom and Frank supply clubs, hotels, catering companies, hospitals and schools with fresh fruit and veggies daily. If you want fresh fruit and veggies, phone 550-4655 and speak to Tom and Frank. They deliver throughout the metropolitan area, south to Wollongong, north to Palm Beach, and
Wayne, if you got a half-time report.
Tom and Frank's fresh fruit and veggies are proud sponsors of the Parramatta Eels. Pacific Poker Machines have always been viewed as leaders in their field, and right now, for your enjoyment, they have all their latest machines at the Parramatta Eels Club. Have a flutter on the latest combinations. Pacific Poker Machines, proud to be a premier patron of the Parramatta Eels. The hills are alive with the sound of hungry people eating Big Macs, Quarter Pounders, McFeasts and fillets of fish from McDonald's at Castle Hill. McDonald's is the answer when you have a giant-sized appetite from playing football, watching football or just not eating. McDonald's Castle Hill are proud sponsors of the Parramatta Eels. Toshiba's range of photocopiers can copy almost anything, except the spirit of the Parramatta Eels. That's unique. Toshiba's fax machines and copiers have earned a reputation for speed and reliability, just like the Eels. If you'd like a demonstration, call Toshiba in Parramatta on 683-1022. Toshiba, proud to be a sponsor of the mighty Parramatta Eels. Phil McCarroll Toyota at Hornsby offers a country-style service with no precious sales approach. During his time as a Toyota dealer, Phil McCarroll and his team have won numerous sales awards.
And so welcome back to the Parramatta Stadium, where there's the scoreline. Fairfield, all the work to do. St Gregory's lead the cup final of 91, 22 points to 6. And tonight, the culmination of a year's Commonwealth Bank Cup football. The Adidas Superstar of the Year will walk away with $1,000 worth of playing and leisure wear. There's the torsion range as displayed by Bill Anderson and also Brett Kenny. And then to the winners on cup final night, the fabulous people from NEC. $5,000 worth of the best, from hi-fis to stereos, microwaves, you name it. All the best from NEC, and also $3,000 to the runners-up. Some great prizes, Dave Fordham.
Certainly is, and this Campbelltown side maybe 30 minutes away from their 7th cup final victory. Standing in their way is Patrician Brothers Fairfield, but they trail on the scoreboard, mainly because of a superb first half performance from young Damien Chapman. 18 points of his team's 22 in the first half. Wayne Pearce has been in the dressing rooms. What's the latest from there, Wayne?
Well, Fairfield coach Mick Hardis had plenty to say. He asked his side to concentrate on their blindside defence. He felt that was where Campbelltown were concentrating their attack, and that's where they had to watch out. He obviously asked his players to slow down the play the balls as well. He felt that Campbelltown were getting too much of a roll on. And Peter Mulholland, well, he just said it, the first half was excellent. All he could do was check on a couple of injuries. Steve Morrison's off, the front row forward. He's replaced by Philip Lonigan, and Morrison actually has concussion, so he's the only worry in their camp.
Well, he took that very heavy knock in the first half. Now Sanderson runs it away from the quarter line and takes play midway between the half and the 22 at his end of the ground. That's Marimba, the highlands of Goroka in Papua New Guinea. Moving open side, Kane Cross giving it away to Chapman. In turn it goes to Michael Francis. He's 5 metres short of the halfway line. Kane Cross again with Chapman working it. Oh, that's a terrific hit in defence by McElwain.
You can see what's happening out here, but Joe Grimer, the hooker for Patrician Brothers, has caught one in from the winger, and that's where they're getting caught in their switches of play by St Greg's. Here's that strong tackle on the St Greg's player. Tried to get to his feet to regain his composure, but couldn't get there.
Effective set of 6 of the long kick downfield by Horan. It'll be taken by Hakely, the fullback for Patrician Brothers Fairfield. Links up outside the quarter line, ran away from his support and took the tackle about 30 metres out from his own goal line. Grimer is the dummy half.
And that's far too slow.
Casey.
Every time Patrician Brothers look up, that St Greg's line is just set in defence and ready to tear into them again.
That's Pettit. He's 8 metres short of the halfway line. They've lost possession of the football, so here's a chance again for St Gregory's Campbelltown in the attacking half. It's taken up this time by Michael Carney.
And according to the new rule, David, that's got to be stealing the ball. I mean, the ball was ripped out in the tackle, and it should have been a penalty.
Well, the application of that rule, Wayne, has left a lot to be desired in season 1991.
Yeah, it's too hard for the referees to interpret. I mean, the sooner they get rid of it, the better.
That was Boller receiving the pass from Sykes. They move it again towards the left-hand side. Here's Sears. Open the try scoring in this cup final. Got it away for Chapman. And he put the accelerator down again. That face is still bleeding quite profusely. They move it right-hand side.
I'm sure Patrician Brothers wish he'd go off.
The work on the blind side. The pass has been ruled forward, has it? As Chapman was going across for try number 4. He's been pulled back by referee Kelly. And the turnover. Line ball decision. The pass from Sykes looked pretty flat. And a penalty now will relieve the pressure for Patrician Brothers Fairfield. They'll be able to take it outside their own quarter. Casey, member of the Parramatta SG ball side, so on home territory tonight here at the Parramatta Stadium. And Billy, one of the scholarship holders to the Eels.
They've got quite a few of them in this squad, and you know, there are a lot of boys here that have played in state under-17 sides, state under-16 sides, and one thing about Parramatta is they don't like to let their juniors skip away.
Well, this Patrician Brothers side has unleashed some great talent, notably Peter Sterling, Paul Langmack and Greg Alexander. They're trailing on the scoreboard here tonight in this cup final of 1991. The ball's taken up by Glenn Grief, the captain. He's got a huge responsibility in the second half. Grimer scurries away from dummy half, tries to link up on the right-hand touchline, but he couldn't. Good defence by Campbelltown. They move it left-hand side, Rafferty for Letafuga. He's got a great ability to normally stand and unload. On that occasion, he couldn't. Grimer moving it again through Rafferty. It goes through the hands of Casey. He held the pass up, tried to put Hill through the gap, but he couldn't. Ball loose on the ground. Rafferty, a loose pass again, picked up by Grimer. It's pushed forward, chases on. It's loose on the ground and finally tidied up right on the own goal line by Kane Cross.
A scramble for the ball there, but Kane Cross very courageous in diving down on that one.
The two Papua New Guinea wingers work effectively. It seems to be a set move, Bill. They come across and take pressure off their forwards very effectively.
That's football of the 90s. The wingers come in early in the tackle count and they start to get you going forward because they can get out of the marker area more quickly than the front rowers. And then in the middle of the tackle count, the front rowers come over and do the hard yakka, and that was a forward pass.
He's lucky that he wasn't ruled offside on that occasion, actually. But the scrum will pack down outside the quarter line at St Gregory's end of the ground. Worth have a look at this one. Well, no, he wasn't in the offside position, but the pass was forward.
So the scrum goes down and Greek gets out and comes the blind side, and this is Chris Haitley, and Haitley working and trying to get away from the defenders, but Sanderson was good and strong, and Ningiga was there also. Garen Casey into dummy half, tries to get away from the first, but again Ningiga makes the tackle. Tackle 3 now for the 2 Blues as Grimer comes across field. This is Wilson, and Wilson goes straight over the 22 and makes the advantage line. The run around with Rafferty. Now Grimer, good ball for Letafuga. And Fairfield Patrician brothers, all the work in the world to do, as now Hill, he scored 1 and he's looking for 2.
The thing is, they're capable of it. If they can just get their confidence up, they can do anything.
Now they work the blind side. Rafferty! Could be a try, held up over the line. McElwain got over the line.
Strapping second rower in the headgear.
He couldn't get it down. Some great defence. I think you'll find through Sanderson. Chapman was there also.
Mark, he's actually pulled up short of the line. That's why it was a handover, was the last tackle.
Now, what Patrician brothers have got to do is really tear in defence here. They've got to try and tackle a mistake into them. They've got to tackle with everything they've got. That's the sort of hit. Glenn Greaves showing the way.
So now Mick Hardis's troops starting to work in defence, starting to scramble, and that's what they've got to do as Letafuga comes over the top. Now they work out from the middle. This is Kane Cross. He was on his way to the ground. He got his ball away, and this is Sykes. 8 metres over the 22, their own end of the field, as Horan now goes for the kick downfield. Good field position for St Greg's. What a kick. Good looking kick. It'll be brought back this time by Nylon. Oh, good tackle by Sears.
Yeah, great kick, but also just as good a chase to back it up.
Sears has scored 1, but there he was showing all the skills in defence as Haitley comes open side. Grimer comes back the blind, taken by Carney. He makes the halfway. Nylon into dummy half. This is Rafferty. Short ball was on for Letafuga. He came back off the left foot though. He'll play it now for Grimer. Grimer, this is the captain, Grief. Away for Hill. Hill back into the defence. But St Greg's equal to the task. Casey's got runners on the open side of the field. They go the blind side. Grimer gets his kick in. The ball sits up nicely for Sanderson. And Sanderson bringing it back towards the 22. Gets straight around Grimer. The defence came again through Wilson and brought him down on the 22. This is Joey Marimba. Marimba tries to step off the left but comes to grief, and Ningiga now, again we see this, what David Fordham spoke about earlier. The fast men getting out and making the advantage line. Kane Cross dummy half. Oh, good tackle from Glenn Grief. Drove him to the turf here at the Parramatta Stadium. This Commonwealth Bank Cup final got all the ingredients of great football, but at the moment Fairfield Patrician brothers with all the work to do as Tony Kelly signals the last tackle, the kick in from Horan, and Horan now the kick going down. This is Griffiths. Griffiths very fast, very elusive. He gets away from one. He can't get away from Ningiga. Trevor Bragg now taken by Chapman, who could in fact be on his way to the Adidas Superstar of the Year award. At the moment he's on 3 points. Another 3 points would wrap it up. Joey Grimer dummy half. Letafuga taking it forward. In fact, just signed with the Parramatta club. Daniel Letafuga. McElwain, Australian schoolboy, goes over halfway. Turns it back for Grimer.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit too much of that, but that was turned back inside and they had extras on the outside. They're not thinking about the man next to them.
Haitley goes for the big kick. Working for the line, taken beautifully by Sanderson. Now Sanderson working back to the middle, gets away from one and still going, but Glenn Grief again, the captain, inspirational in defence. Ningiga to dummy half, straightens the attack. Rafferty comes over the top. Grief was in the tackle also. This is Sears, putting the foot down, getting out of dummy half. They're doing the simple things well, St Gregory's. Nathan Boller taken in a good tackle by Garen Casey. The market offence is starting to work for Fairfield now. Horan goes over the top. Came off the head of Rafferty. Going back for Fairfield. This will be play on. The start of the tackle count. Casey dummy half. Haitley, he's got to stay involved, the fullback. He's a game breaker.
Yeah, they're using him up the centre of the rucks, turning the ball back into him. I'd like to see him a little bit wider. I'd like to see him getting out off the 5'8" in the centres and bursting into that back line.
Joey Grimer now, working a short blind. Oh, good hit! And it was half-back on second rower, Kane Cross. He didn't shirk the task. Pennant now gave a good ball for Casey, working it wide for Bragg. And Patrician Brothers take it inside the attacking half of the final tackle. It goes back for Casey, the little one over the top, kicking into open space, and the chase is on. But unlike Chapman, he wasn't rewarded with the bounce. Sweeping was Kane Cross, and he tidies it up at the back for St Gregory's Campbelltown. And again, we see these wing three-quarters coming in to take pressure off their forwards again.
They're very elusive players. They're quick on their feet, and even when the defence gets to them, they seem to be able to just step out of the way of the tackle and get that couple of extra metres.
Chisholm is the dummy half. Sykes got the pass away for Chapman. He's got a great skills into open space. Pull back to beat his supportive bowler. Bowler is run down by Griffiths. As Mark Warren said, the quickest man on the field got back in defence. Sears now looking for try number 2. And he's pulled down about 2 metres short. It's on the final tackle. Will the kick come into play, or will St Gregory's run it? They decide to run it. The ball comes out the back door. It's kicked into the in goal, and despite it being a very deep in goal, the ball goes dead and play will come back to the quarter line. 22 points to 6. St Gregory's over Fairfield Patrician Brothers. So play will come back. The restart with Andrew Hill, another scholarship holder for the Parramatta Club. Grimer is a dummy half. He's 32 out from his own goal line. Rafferty away for Glenn Grief, the captain. He was the Parramatta Junior Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, he hasn't shirked his task all night. He goes forward when he's got the ball. He tries to rally his troops, and he hits hard in defence. He's just needed a bit more support.
Yeah, he had an outstanding game in the semi-final. He was judged man of the match on that occasion, which took him to 4 points and the leader in the Adidas Dally M Junior Player of the Year award. Now Rafferty through the dummy for Letafuga. Now he tried to put the Samoan prop in the gap. The ball's gone loose on the ground. 6 more to go, says the referee, as Casey takes it 11 metres inside the attacking half, and a very solid tackle coming in from Horan, and he's going to be called out. A little bit over vigorous. Wayne Pearce right in front of you.
Yeah, it was. There was no need for that. I mean, they're well in front on the scoreboard. They're dominating play. They don't need to give away silly penalties, and here it is. Here we can see that he was wrestling with him, went high around the head. You're not allowed to tackle around the head, so justifiably a penalty against him.
So the penalty will allow play to move up towards the quarter line as Patrician Brothers Fairfield go on attack in this cup final of 1991. They trail by 22 points to 6, and they've got about 18 minutes of play to try and pull this cup final out of the bag. Now Letafuga takes it to 11 metres short of the try line. Rafferty will call it.
Watch from Ricardo's set play, Dave.
Now Grimer, Rafferty holding the pass up. They move it on the good switch. Hately, oh, did he take the right option there? He had numbers to burn on the outside. He came back infield. The wrong option taken by the fullback. Now, the pass infield. Grimer giving it away to Rafferty. It'll go away for Hill, the centre three-quarter, and the defence is up.
Yeah,
swarming.
They're taking the ball to where the defence is thickest.
Now they move on the blind side. Hately through the dummy. Died with the football. Final tackle now for Patrician Brothers. They'll move it on the open side. It'll go to Grief. Short ball Letafuga. Away for Wilson. And not an effective set of 6 at all.
Now
Let's go touchline. Wayne Pearce.
Yeah, with me down here, David, I've got a player, well, he's not young anymore, but he's a player that played in the 1980 winning St Gregory's side, Michael Potter. Mick, how do you think the side's going?
The side's going great tonight. They're, I think they'll take it out. They've got enough start now, and I think they'll just settle down and control the ball, and they'll get it.
How much prestige do the players involved in the Commonwealth Bank Cup squad enjoy within the school?
Well, it's probably the most prestigious, I think, of the sports played in high school at the moment. The rugby league, it does get a lot of coverage, so they enjoy other people sort of acknowledging that they're going well.
I'm sure you can relate to the pressure out here because you've got a virtual grand final coming up on Sunday against Canberra. Everything in place for a win?
Yeah, we're all prepared for the game on the weekend. Canberra's in the same situation. They lose, they're out, and we lose, we're out. So it's a virtual grand final for us.
Good luck and thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Wayne.
Mick Potter could have been anything, Billy, except for injuries.
Well, I think he's playing some of his best football this year, Dave. I think the last couple of weeks he's been outstanding for St George. Early in the year, they used him in any number of positions. He handled everyone with credit, but that custodian spot's where he's best.
So around about 16 minutes of play remains here at the Parramatta Stadium. 22 points to 6 St Gregory's lead. Rafferty takes play
and he's
over
been
the halfway line.
Been impressive also, Rafferty. He's only a young player. He's 15 and in the Commonwealth Bank Cup squad, but he's done everything right.
Grimer got out of dummy half and put the kick in. Now Sanderson put it on the toe, came at it again, gets out of his in-goal area. Good defence, good chase, and Joe Grimer, the kicker, was the first there. In company with Darren Pettit, big hitting second rower. And the defence is good again. Fairfield certainly tightening this game up in the second half. But time ticking away as St Gregory's looking for 3 back-to-back titles.
They need to score now, Patrician Brothers, and they're just letting some of these little men run too far with the ball.
Out of dummy half goes Ningiga. Glenn Grief was right around the ankles. They're slowing them down though, Fairfield now. Horan gets the kick in. Coming back for Kevin Griffiths, takes it on the full. Now he faces a wall of blue and maroon jerseys, takes on the first Kane Cross. Casey dummy half, he's got 2 runners and takes Bragg. Bragg coming across field. Bragg and Hill have worked so well together in 91. Rafferty, now this is Wilson. Wilson takes it over the 22. They've got players and a lot of them on the blind side. McElwain, this will be a penalty, Fairfield. No doubt in the world Joey Grimer's access to his runner was impeded. In fact, the penalty 6-1 to Fairfield. The scrums are 2 apiece. Casey will try and put this out and give themselves 10 metres between the attack and defence.
And a change in back play for St Greg's. Ben Farley's on for hooker Shannon Chisholm.
So Shannon Chisholm goes to the showers. Fairfield looking for a try, and they need one quickly. Grimer now for Rafferty. This is Casey, inside ball for Wilson.
I still think the holes are on the outside of this defensive line.
Crisscross play, Letafuga for the line. No try, held up. The boy they call the Samoan Prince. Headed for the line. Took on the defence, but full credit to Nathan Boller. Put his body on the line. So now pressure off for St Gregory's as Kane Cross goes to the blind side. Good tackle, Chris Haitley.
Patrician Brothers really haven't tested St Greg's defence out wide. They've been more content to turn the ball back on the inside, but there are some spaces out there. They've got plenty of pace on the wings and they've got to give them a chance. Sanderson came to grief. Oh, good tackle again from Glenn Grief on Ben Farley. Replacement hooker, Ningiga strives towards the halfway. Chapman dummy half, danger man. This is Sykes. St Gregory's though, they're slowing it down, they're just going through the motions. Referee Kelly signals last tackle. Horan looks for the line kick. Comes back and sits up nicely this time for Chris Haitley. What can he do? He tries to stand up Cross and get on the outside of him. He can't, and Kane Cross. I think the fact that Haitley's wearing those tracksuit bottom pants underneath his shorts indicates that he must have some sort of a groin problem, and it's hampered him severely. His acceleration just isn't there tonight. No, he can't push off. I've seen him in some games where he's been electrified. Had it picked up and back slammed. Through Michael Francis. What a second rower he's been. This is McElwain. Certainly having a big game. Parramatta Stadium, plenty of supporters here to see class football. Kane Cross, knock on both ways, scrum will go down. 4 metres over halfway, Fairfield's territory. There's the supporters in Fairfield at the moment. Very quiet. There's St Greg's. They're happy with what's happening here at the moment. Fed by Rafferty, won by Fairfield. Kane Cross, straight onto him. Bragg, and again referee Kelly trying to keep these two sides apart, and another penalty to Fairfield. So Garron Casey with the line kick. Finds it. 10 over halfway into St Gregory's territory. Letafuga taking it forward.
Oh, just takes 3 and 4 defenders with him.
Now he's got to get a quick play the ball and another one of those runs, but it wasn't there. Grimer with no support. If they'd have got another one, they'd have had them going backwards and they could have pushed the ball wide.
He certainly set the platform. Now it's up to his back line, but Fairfield Patrician brothers still looking for points in the second half.
And they attack on the blind side, Rafferty giving it away, and McElwain taken about 12 metres out from the try line. They must get on the scoreboard here. Grimer attacks on the blind, and he's taken in the tackle of Bowler 5 metres short. They have a big line left to attack with. It goes Rafferty. He delayed the pass, put the little kick in, but it wasn't effective. And an offside player there on the right wing was Nylon. The penalty goes against Patrician Brothers Fairfield, and that takes the pressure right off. So Horan will kick for touch on that far side, kicking towards the Michael Cronin stand. So play will be restarted just outside the quarter, and it's Boller to take it with the tap. Good defence by Patrician Brothers. Grief has had an outstanding game in defence. Chapman for Kane Cross, darting out of dummy half, and the gap starting to open in this Patrician Brothers Fairfield defence now as we're into the final 10, and they trail on the scoreboard by 22 points to 6. Good ball work. Horan tries to get on the outside of Casey, but he can't. He's taken in the tackle midway between the half and the 22 at Patrician Brothers end of the ground. That's the replacement player Farley. On the field for the injured hooker Shannon Chisholm. Giga away for Horan, kicking in general play into touch on the full. Pressure was there from the centre three-quarter in Andrew Hill. So the turnover. Hill out of dummy half. Farley coming over the top of the tackle. Songs have started here, celebration songs for St Gregory's Campbelltown. History-making performance here tonight if they can hang on to this lead. No school has ever won 3 cup finals in a row. Chasing their first ever hat-trick, and they've done it in style tonight. They've got a dream start though, Wayne Pearce, but to their credit, they've gone on with the job.
Yeah, they're a very professional outfit. I mean, that's a big statement for a schoolboy side, but they don't make too many errors, and if the opposition makes errors, they take full toll of them. They're very strong in defence and very good in attack.
They have scored 4 tries to 1 in this cup final of 91. These are the sort of errors that have plagued Patrician Brothers Fairfield in this match and have really just taken the pressure off. Peter Mulholland, the coach of the St Gregory side, what a record, going for his 7th win. The only loss was back in 1983, ironically, at the hands of Patrician Brothers Fairfield.
Who were led that day by a very young Greg Alexander.
And I think he was playing in, what, his 2nd cup final on that occasion.
Yeah, that he was.
Now, Chapman, he's had an outstanding game.
Georgia, a very lucky play.
Certainly are. He's played superbly here today. Kane Cross, another great young talent. No change to the half-time scoreline. 22 points to 6. Now Sears, that's a terrific run. Unloaded the pass. Boller looks around. Oh, terrific defence again. That time by Nylon. Chasing, giving his all. And rewarded with a tackle that turned over possession. And it's desperation like this that's pretty courageous at this stage of the game, Bill, with the scoreline the way it reads.
Yeah, it does. I don't know that they've totally given up. Probably on the scoreboard they can't get there, but you don't tend to be looking at clocks and things when you're in a final. You just keep playing your best every play.
In brief, won't be the last time you see this land on the Parramatta Stadium. No score at all in the second half. Half-time score led 22 points to 6 to Campbelltown. Now Casey angling in towards touch. Taken by Horan. He will try and link up with Sanderson. The spiral pass finds Sanderson, middle of the field. And he couldn't get across to Marimba. That's Marimba that goes to dummy half. He will dart out of that position. Pinch 5 or 10 metres. Comes to the tackling lock forward in Glenn Grief, the captain of Patrician Brothers. Four tries to 1. St Gregory's in this cup final. Giga. They'll move it to the left. Kane Cross.
He's not big, but he knows how to use what he's got.
Replacements happening in this to Gregory's side. We'll bring them up to date with Wade Pearce in a moment. They go on attack, St Gregory's. High ball in the air for Hately. The chase is on from Horan. He hasn't taken his eye off the ball, and neither did Hately, the fullback. Terrific exhibition here of the fullback. The message, Bill, you do not take your eye off the football in the air.
That's a real test for any fullback, a ball that goes that high. He got good support there from his 5'8", who got in front of him and helped him out, but he had a lot of work to do.
So Fairfield Patrician brothers with the football as Joey Grimer. What a gutsy performer. We go inside the last 5 minutes of the 1991 Commonwealth Bank Cup. Probably its greatest year. Nearly 400 schools participated right throughout New South Wales and Queensland, and we have seen some champagne schoolboy rugby league. What a platform for junior rugby league. The Commonwealth Bank Cup as Daniel Letafuga shows us that he can kick as well, but now Horan turning defence into attack once more. Ngingiga skirting the touchline, back inside for Haran. He's got numbers through Chapman, he's got Sanderson with him. Oh, good tackle. McElwain, what a tackle. They work it away now. A great ball from Chapman. Christopher Sykes has gone through them. Away it goes. This could be a try. Held up just short. Desperation tackle from Rafferty. They go blindside through Sykes. This is Marimba. That's a try. And that's the cup. That's the Commonwealth Bank Cup for 1991. It's going back to St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. And they thoroughly deserve it. The heads are down from Fairfield, but here it is. It was the wide ball and the defensive line, like an elastic band, it went snap. Here it is. Sykes threw a good ball, and he stretched out, and what a finisher he is, Joey Marimba. Well, Fairfield certainly haven't thrown in the towel, but eventually someone has to take it from them. A very proud school. And I know it's an old saying, but there's no loser here tonight.
They got off onto the wrong foot, Patrician brothers, and they just were not able to get the ship right. And some very joyous supporters there from St Greg's. They've been through it all before, but they're going to celebrate again in 1991.
This kick for Damien Chapman. He's on the touchline. He's taken it back to the 22. Point scoring freak. And you think that Brian Smith at St George wouldn't be happy. 132 points for the season. And he can have a smile as the supporters give him a little bit of encouragement. They'll be hailing him as a genius on the bus back to Campbelltown. What a moment for the school. What a moment for this young man who could well be the superstar of 91. Has one last look, moves into it, it's in the air, it's coming around, it's there! What can't he do? Damien Chapman all smiles, St Gregory's up in jubilation. The Parramatta Stadium, 28 points to 6, St Gregory's lead in the Cup final of 91. Ah, the supporters, and why wouldn't they? They have seen a feast of rugby league. The restart for a dejected Fairfield side. There's Peter Mulholland. He's shaking hands. He can smell it. 91, he's got the jersey already made up. Well, he's a character. This has gone out the back door. They're human. St Gregory's are human. They've finally made a mistake. Well,
and that's been the hallmark of their play tonight. They just haven't made errors. No matter how much pressure's been put on them, they haven't come up with one, and here at the death, a consolation.
So, we are inside the last 2 minutes of play in the 91 Commonwealth Bank Cup. Comes down now for Bragg. Bragg faces a wall of sky blue and maroon jerseys. 4 on 4, Bragg and Horan. Horan certainly has taken the points in this game, but Fairfield not done with yet. They'd like to cross the stripe once more in 91. Grimer works the blind side for this inspirational player. I've said it once, I'll say it again, Glenn Grief. What a young player he is, what a prospect. As McElwain takes it forward, they're 8 metres short of the line. Joey Grimer, another great performer in 91, and he scored! Well, he deserves to. He deserves to, he's gone down. He's hurt an ankle. He scored the try. Well, that's a shame for young Joe Grimer. What a big heart. Small in stature, but a big heart. He threw the dummy, and they swallowed it.
Patrician brothers have persisted with trying to smash their way through the middle. And here Joey Grimer displays some skill. He ran wide, skirted the defence, threw a dummy and was able to slice through.
The kick to come is only for the scoreboard because the siren has sounded. So, Garen Casey with the kick in front, making the scoreline respectable, but St Gregory's College of Campbelltown make Commonwealth Bank Cup history, the first school to win 3 cups in a row in its 17th year. And what great supporters as Casey moves in, raises the flags. That's curtains for Fairfield, but St Gregory's have won the 1991 Commonwealth Bank Cup, and there's Peter Mulholland.
Yeah, fantastic performance from a great young school, and they salute their fans on the far side of the Parramatta Stadium. They have scored 5 tries to 2. As Mark mentioned, tries there, 3 to Chapman, a hat-trick in a cup final. Sears and Marimba. Chapman kicked 4 from 5. Grimer and Hill, the try scorers for Patrician brothers. Casey kicked the 2 goals. As Mark Warren mentioned, this 28-12 victory gives them an historic hat-trick of victories in succession in the Commonwealth Bank Cup. Terrific celebrations here. We'll come back to the Parramatta Stadium as the champions get rewarded with their goodies for the presentation in just a moment. Yes, mate, I am. Yep. Yep. Okay, mate.
28-12.
Do you have a super at the man of the series? Well, it all began back in February. 400 schools set out for this magnificent cup, the Commonwealth Bank Cup, the symbol of supremacy of schoolboy football in Australia. And for the third year in a row, the Campbelltown side have won at a marvellous moment for Tim Horan, the captain. And what a game the fellow on the right had, Chapman. Fantastic performance by St Gregory's Campbelltown. They have won the cup final by 28 points to 12. Mark Warren will see a lot more of this young fellow in the future.
Oh, Damien Chapman, what a proud moment it is as he holds the cup aloft.
With his captain, Tim Horan, and the Commonwealth Bank are to be congratulated. John Koch there, the General Manager of Marketing, they have done a superb job. Ken Arthurson and John Quayle, and also some of the other great sponsors. Ken Thompson's there from NEC, Jim Salapis from Adidas, Tim Mullins from the Telegraph Mirror, and of course John Quayle and Ken Arthurson. John Davies from Network 10
There's
Australia.
the cup again.
Yeah, marvellous moment. He'll treasure this. He could have played in 3 in a row, young Tim Horan. Cricket commitments stopped him in 1989.
A tremendous athlete, David.
He's a superb player. And talking about superb players, our points today in the cup final for the player of the match. 1 point goes to Glenn Grief of Patrician Brothers. Tim Horan, 2 points, the captain of St Gregory's Campbelltown. And Damien Chapman, he had a superb match. He scored 20 points, 3 points in the man of the match. And that determines now the 1991 Commonwealth Bank Cup Player of the Year, Damien Chapman. Not only the Junior Dally M Player of the Year, he will receive the full Sportsman's Playing and Training Kit from Adidas. He will also become, as I mentioned, the Junior Dally M Player of the Year. Deservedly so. He had a superb cup final.
There was nothing that this boy could not do tonight. He kicked goals and he just scored tries and he laid it all on for his side. And a proud moment for the school, and there they are. What a photo that will be. And they'll treasure this, as you said, Dave, for the rest of their lives.
And what a record for the man that just squatted down for the team photo, Peter Mulholland. Since 1979, his record in 8 cup finals,
the man
7 wins and 1 loss. Just fantastic.
He's also the reserve bank coach at Western Suburbs.
Well, spare a moment for Patrician Brothers Fairfield. They were battling gamely out there tonight. On the night, just not good enough. They appeared a little flat.
Champions in defeat, David.
For Mick Harness, his record, of course, he's had the wins. He savoured his second loss here tonight, and in a cup final. But they had some great players out there as well. They tried valiantly. None more than Glenn Grief.
He is the soul and the inspiration of this side, Dave. And he certainly led by example, no doubt in the world.
I'd just like to pay tribute to one man that has been an integral part of the success of the Commonwealth Bank Cup. He's a man that's assisted us right through the season. The 17th season, in fact, he's done it. The statistician Ray O'Donnell, a marvellous man that has just helped our coverage over the years.
We'd be lost without him.
We take our hats off to Ray O'Donnell. But the Cup champions begin their victory lap here at the Parramatta Stadium for the 3rd year in a row. It's a history-making performance by St Gregory's Campbelltown. They are the champion side in schoolboy football in rugby league in Australia.
And wait till they get to the other side of the... There's Ray O'Donnell, our statistician.
He's wondering, he said, what am I doing on camera? You rarely see him, but he does a sterling job. The award to service to the Commonwealth Bank Cup. Congratulations, Ray O'Donnell. You're a champion.
And you reckon that this crowd won't erupt when they get around here to the St Gregory's College part of the stand? It will be deafening.
Yes, there they go, ready to salute their champions. The 17th year of the Commonwealth Bank Cup is over for season 1991. We've got to thank you for your support. We thank all the schools who have participated. The champions we see there, St Gregory's, almost 400 through New South Wales and Queensland. and of course all the viewers of this great competition. On behalf of Wayne Pearce, Bill Anderson and Mark Warren, I'm David Fordham. Stay with us, listen Friday night football for the Parramatta Stadium. It's Parramatta and Manly coming up. The champions of the Commonwealth Bank Cup, though, St Gregory's Campbelltown.